Hi guys, I like to talk about microchips, isn't it? Very popular at the moment. So how did it started? Well, we can see them on pets, isn't it? The best known examples are microchips that are subcutaneously injected into our pets, which are a procedure that the vets use it. But the same technology is not being used in humans. On humans, I personally don't microchip my kitten because she doesn't need a chip to come home. She can use her intuition and she's protected by the Most Highs. And by myself, her mother. Yeah. Um, so far, governments have held back from chipping the populations and masses, only a few, because they know that lots of people are beginning to realize that they do not want that, so they would be very unpopular. So that's the only reason. This is why COVID came into play, isn't it? If we generate a really strong virus that lots of people get killed, then we can say, look, guys, if you had the microchip, we could have avoided all that. No, they couldn't have avoided. They could, they generated that. But it's a way of kind of like saying, we can solve the problem. And people, oh, yeah, yeah, you know. And we can see how much we are controlled. I mean, there are cameras everywhere, intrusive, but they remain outside the human body, isn't it? But little bit, a little bit, like the phones before they were like, you had the headphones here, and now you have them inside. A little bit and little bit is going inside, becoming more and more and more intrusive, isn't it? The digital tattoo is a very super thin skin patch that incorporates tiny electrodes capable of gathering medical information. I know it sounds like science fiction, isn't it? But we know that this technology exists, isn't it? We can see on the TV adverts that you have like a patch, not a micro, which is same. It's like a chip, a patch on your shoulder, I believe, and then that can people who are diabetic, they don't need to put the needle to be able to read. The sugar levels it's done automatically. So obviously I understand that somebody who believes they've got diabetes, because it's all an illusion, that rather than constantly having to to pinch your finger and the blood, that this is done automatically. I mean, how amazing. I totally get it. um but there is a downside, isn't it? uh, you see, they are generating and recording tiny electrical currents. If you can read the blood pressure, if you can read anything, you can actually, generate a code to the DNA and change it. You can control somebody just with a little tattoo, a little microchip, isn't it? And they can be really, really, really good, isn't it? They can be like a little tattoo that you cannot see. It's incredible, but we need to be aware. Imagine that you could measure a skin temperature, and another tattoo that could detect vibration caused by a cough. They could they could signal a diagnosis of respiratory infection when this is not the case. Also, if this is connected to your GP, then the GP can come back to you and say, you've got this, and you've got this. And well, how do you know? Oh, because the patch is telling me. They could be lying to you guys. I remember once when I was self-sabotage, and what happened to me, I kept crashing the car. Well, it wasn't me, it was my friends who was driving, but whenever we were working together, and constantly the crash either breakdown and once having car crashes. It wasn't major, but once I remember for some reason I had a car crash, and I was said to me, don't move at the moment, but I was fine. I did move, and they said to me, oh, let's check your your sugar levels. I said, oh, my God, you need to go to the hospital. Your sugar levels are high or whatever. I said, yeah, of course they're high. But if I had believed that would have become my reality. But I knew I was being self-sabotaged. I completely ignored it. As I said, don't go to the doctor. But these techniques that are coming out to the light, guys, a long time ago this was already in place. I remember talking to somebody who was enlightened and who knew a lot about the CIA, and he was telling me, Amor, if you actually sit down with them, at the moment they've got like halos. They can see through cameras people who has been in custody, or that they've got a criminal record. They've got halos on top of their head. And obviously we say, well, it's to protect people, isn't it? If people are criminals. Well, guys, I've been in custody for 5 years. I was in prison for 5 years for being enlightened. I did nothing wrong. I was just trying to defend myself, and they put me in prison for, for trying to access the truth and sticking to the truth and not going against my coach and who became my husband. They want us to destroy the both of us. And, why should I have a halo saying that that person is dangerous when I'm nothing? But the opposite, I help so many people, as I help myself. So we don't want the microchips, yeah. And what happens that people that are unwell is gonna be so difficult, isn't it? It's gonna be like so helpful to have that microchips to monitor things, and I totally get it. That people who are zombies and conscious sleep, they're gonna go for it, and I cannot blame them, because it's what they've been told. They trust the system, they trust their doctor. The doctor has become their god. So unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people going with the microchip, but there's going to be a lot of people who's going to say no, so they cannot force it. They'll never be able to force it. I mean, I'm not having lots of tattoos also. I tell you what, they were actually used practiced by the Nazis to control the prisoners. Yeah. And it's like trying to make us into a cyborg, into a robots, yeah. These chips can now be programmed to carry out everyday functions like acting as a key to unlock your front door, to start your car. It's crazy, isn't it? That we depend on a chip to open the door. We've got hands. We are kind of like being made redundant. Yeah. And these tattoos, these microchips usually contain a unique ID, which is your ID, that can be linked to information contained in an external database, such an identity document, criminal record, medical history, medications, address book, and other usage. Why should people know my business and my life? That is so intrusive, and no idea why Sweden is so popular here. Also, some of these, tattoos can control computers, smartphones, they're attached to a small computer chip that filters input data, and when arranged in a grid pattern, it can act as a touchpad for electronic devices. It's technology like this is reaching a new level. Actually, I've seen researchers have designed a temporary tattoo that can double as a smartphone touchpad. That turning us into cyborgs, into robots, as I said, because that's what the robots are. The shadows are the robots, are sentient programs, and they want us to become like them. So they become like us humans. They want to reverse the roles. I remember reading saying that Bill Gates wanted to microchip people, and that was a false claim. It's not a false claim. Bill Gates is a shadow, is a reptilian origin, Illuminati, like how you want to call it. Yeah, of course he wants everybody to be microchipped. Yeah, we are going to what we call the transhumanists, yeah, who are upgrading their bodies. Our bodies don't need to be upgraded, guys. Our body has just been weakened by all the nonsense and lies and deceits. We are perfect. We are quantum beings. If somebody has got an illness, you don't have an illness, guys. You are watching a movie where you are a character who is not you, but you think that is you, and you think that that character that has got diabetes is you when you don't. Yeah, quantum beings and the spirit cannot be physically harmed and cannot be physically ill. Is a spirit connected with the source? We never disconnected. It's just a delusion. Yeah. So I just wanted to make aware of this, guys, because it's important that we understand that Nobody makes me into a robot. Nobody controls my life with electric impulses. Nobody has a record of what I've done or I haven't done. It's nobody's business unless I want to disclose it. But anyway, I disclose everything because I have nothing to hide. Yeah. Not to microchips. And those of you who have pets, trust me, your pets don't need a microchip, guys. Your pets will come home. I mean, usually they said when you go to a new place, you need to stay like 2 weeks. Your pet shouldn't go out to get to the area. My kitten, she just sneaked out the second day. I couldn't keep her in. She went out for the whole day, came back. Hola. She knew exactly where she was and how to come back. The animal kingdom don't need that, and neither do we. Yes, we've lost our intuition. We are nowhere near as intuitive as the animal kingdom, which are all enlightened. But we want to get to that stage of enlightenment. We don't want to regress and start putting this nonsense into our body. The answer is no. And I hope you agree with me. Till next video, guys, which is honestly some incredible information is being downloaded. And this is what happened. It gets downloaded the day before I do the videos, and it kind of like is sitting, it goes into my brain, boom, 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 boom. And then I kind of put, oh, this is what's going to come, this is going to come next week. And then it comes in a better, the information comes to me to make the videos, and it's amazing, isn't it? It's exactly what people need. How many of you contact me by messenger? Oh, just seen your video, and it's exactly what I needed. Absolutely, we are all one. We are all connected. In this amazing spiritual awakening, isn't it? That we are all part of, guys. And it's not long to go. Paradise is round the corner, so there's no chips in paradise. Till next video. Goodbye.